Imagine a festival so beloved that millions of people across the world wake up at dawn, bathe, and then invite the elephant-headed deity into their homes with flowers, songs, and prayers. What is it about Lord Ganesha that has made him the most worshipped god in the Hindu pantheon for thousands of years? Today, we explore Ganesh Chaturthi, the grand 10-day festival that celebrates not just a deity, but a principle of wisdom, new beginnings, and the removal of all obstacles from our lives. Let us start at the very beginning. The word Chaturthi comes from Sanskrit, meaning fourth, referring to the fourth day of the lunar month of Bhadrapada, which typically falls in August or September. This is when Ganesh Chaturthi is celebrated across India, Nepal, and Hindu communities worldwide. But the origins of this festival reveal something extraordinary about the evolution of Hindu devotion. While Lord Ganesha has been worshipped since Vedic times, the Ganesh Chaturthi festival as we know it today, with grand public celebrations and processions, became widespread during the 17th century, popularized magnificently by the legendary freedom fighter Lokmanya Bal Gangadhar Tilak. He transformed a private family ritual into a massive public celebration that unified communities and sparked spiritual consciousness during British rule. What began as a personal act of devotion became a symbol of collective identity and resistance through culture. But why Ganesha? Why is this elephant-headed god considered the remover of obstacles and the lord of new beginnings? The answer lies in understanding his extraordinary symbolism. The elephant represents wisdom, strength, and discernment. Its large ears symbolize our capacity to listen deeply. The trunk, with its incredible dexterity, represents the flexible power to adapt and navigate life's complexities. And the large belly? It represents the ability to digest all experiences, both sweet and bitter, with equanimity. Ganesha's broken tusk is perhaps the most profound symbol in Hindu iconography. According to ancient texts, Ganesha broke his own tusk to write down the Mahabharata, the world's longest epic poem. This teaches us that nothing is more important than fulfilling our dharma, our sacred duty, even if it requires sacrifice. The curved elephant tusk also resembles the sacred Om symbol, the primordial sound of the universe itself. Now, let us walk through the rituals of Ganesh Chaturthi. The festival typically begins with the installation of clay or plaster idols of Ganesha in homes and public spaces called mandaps. These aren't mere statues, they represent the actual presence of the deity. For 10 days, devotees perform elaborate pujas or worship ceremonies, offering modak, a sweet rice and jaggery dumpling considered Ganesha's favorite, along with flowers, incense, and prayers. The chanting of the Ganesh Sahasranama, which lists 1,000 names and attributes of Ganesha, fills the air during these days. Each name reveals a different facet of his power: Vigneshwar, the lord of obstacles; Buddhipriya, the lover of wisdom; Siddhidayaka, the giver of success. To chant these names is not mere repetition, it is a meditation on the qualities we wish to cultivate within ourselves. On the 10th day comes the Ganpati Visarjan, the farewell ceremony. Idols are taken in grand processions, often accompanied by music, dancing, and thousands of devotees chanting Ganesh Jai Ganesh Deva. The statue is then immersed in water, rivers, lakes, or even the sea in coastal regions. This immersion symbolizes the impermanence of the physical form and the eternal nature of the divine principle. It teaches that we must let go of attachments, knowing that the divine is always present. Here is something fascinating that many people do not know. Ancient Vedic texts describe Ganesha as the presiding deity over the Muladhara Chakra, the root energy center at the base of the spine. This means that when we worship Ganesha, we are awakening the foundational energies of our spiritual being. He is not just a protector of external obstacles, but a gateway to our innermost spiritual awakening. Another remarkable fact: in Vedic rituals, every ceremony begins with the invocation of Ganesha before any other deity. This is called Ganesh Vandana. Whether it is a marriage, a business transaction, a learning session, or a spiritual practice, Ganesha must be honored first. This is because he symbolizes the removal of all internal confusion and external impediments that could block our path to success. But Ganesh Chaturthi is not merely about external rituals. It is a profound reminder that we all carry within us the wisdom of Ganesha. When we face obstacles, and we all do, we are called to remember his qualities. Like the elephant, we must listen before we act. Like his trunk, we must remain flexible and adaptable. Like his willingness to sacrifice his tusk, we must prioritize dharma over comfort. As this festival ends and the idol dissolves into water, carry this truth with you. You do not need to worship a statue to invoke Ganesha's presence. He dwells in the wisdom of removing obstacles from your own mind. He resides in your capacity to begin again, fearlessly and faithfully. Every new day is Ganesh Chaturthi. Every new moment offers you the chance to transcend what limits you and move toward what elevates you. This is the eternal message of Sanatan Dharma, that the divine is not distant but intimately woven